It will forever remain an indelible blight on human history that the apartheid crime ever occurred. It will forever remain an accusation and a challenge to all men and women of conscience that it took as long as it has before all of us stood up to say enough is enough. The date for the demise of the white minority regime has been determined, agreed, and set. 7 months from now, on April 27, 1994, all the people of South Africa, without discriminations on ground of gender, race, color, or belief, will join in the historic act of electing a government of their choice. When distinguished leaders came together half a century ago to consign to the past a war that had pitted humanity against itself, the ruins and the smoke from the dying fires were the monument to what should not have been. The United Nations has to reassess its role, redefine its profile, and reshape its structures. It should truly reflect the diversity of our universe and ensure equity among the nations in the exercise of power within the system of international relations in general and the Security Council in particular.
It's also decorated.
Are you all right? Winter, you have become an American now, eh?
No, I just came for your visit.
Very good. The very right to be human is denied every day to hundreds of millions of people as a result of poverty and the unavailability of basic necessities such as food, jobs, water and shelter, education, health care, and a healthy environment. As I sit in Kuno, my village, and grow as ancient as its hills, I will continue to entertain the hope that there has emerged a cadre of leaders in my own country and region, on my continent, and in the world, which will not allow that any should be denied their freedom, as we were, that any should be turned into refugees, as we were, that any should be condemned to go hungry, as we were, that any should be stripped of their human dignity, as we were. Yes, well, you have made my day.
No, I didn't.
It has the power to inspire. It has the power to unite people in a way that little else does. It speaks to youth in a language they understood. Sport can create hope where once there was only despair. It is more powerful than governments in breaking down racial barriers. It laughs in the face of all types of discrimination. The heroes are standing with me are examples of this power. They are valiant, not only in the playing field, but also in the community, both local and international. They are champions, and they deserve the world's recognition. Together, they represent an active, vigorous Hall of Fame, a Hall of Fame that goes out into the world, spreading hope, inspiration, and hope. Their legacy will be an international community where the rules of the game are the same for everyone, and behavior is guided by fair play and good sportsmanship. I ask you now to rise and join me in commending the original inductees into the World Sports Academy Hall of Fame. Master of Ceremonies, distinguished artist, members of the International Reception Committee, dear friends here and elsewhere in the world, our first simple and happy task is to say thank you. Thank you very much to you all. Thank you that you chose to care. Because you could have decided when, by ending the system of white minority domination, humanity will have ensured that never again shall the scourge of racial tyranny raise its ugly head. You will all be welcome. You will all be welcome to attend those historic victory celebrations. I cannot complete my speech without referring to our comrade President Oliver Tambo. As you know, Comrade Oliver Tambo is recovering in a clinic in Sweden. I saw him in March this year and was happy to see that he has made a remarkable progress in his illness. We know it is your desire, in fact, your prayers and wishes, that he should recover as speedily and completely so that he can come back and lead this organization again. On my left is his beloved wife, Adelaide Tambo. In wishing our leader complete recovery, we at the same time would like to assure her that we are fully behind her and the family in their moment of concern. no man in this country and anywhere else in the world who could have performed as magnificently as he has done over the last 30 years. He kept our organization united and strong under the most difficult conditions. And we say, therefore, that our prayers are that he should be able to recover sufficiently to take his position of leadership of this organization. Finally, I want to tell you, as I have told many other meetings before, that we respect you, we admire you, and above all, we love you.
And a tremendous reception for Nelson Mandela. He spoke for just over 20 minutes to an enraptured audience, both here and around the world. I'm joined once more by Anthony Sampson, the writer and broadcaster we spoke to earlier, who is a lifelong friend of Nelson Mandela. A tremendous speech, first of all, but an important political and emotional tribute to Oliver Tambo.
It was very interesting because that, of course, was unscripted and very spontaneous, and that, I think, sums up the strongest and most powerful emotion of that speech, which was of gratitude, because he feels, obviously, and he said so before, enormous gratitude to people who helped his organization and himself over almost 30 years. And of course that is why he came here to Britain for this, when his own country was in a great state of tension. So that was by far the most powerful emotion that came through. And of course Tambo was his lifelong companion as a lawyer, then as a co-leader of the ANC.
It was so obvious that Nelson Mandela was so happy to be here, and it was a very optimistic and strong speech.
The optimism, I thought, was also the most, perhaps the newest part, the most unexpected part, because he did say, as you remember, the dreams of millions of people to see our country free will be realized sooner rather than later. And that was after quite a militant previous lead-up. Right. And quite clearly he does feel quite hopeful that there can be a really non-racial democracy in South Africa, perhaps within his own lifetime. And that's a rather remarkable conclusion to come to.
And of course it also sets the tone for his meeting with Mrs. Thatcher next month. He has said last night that he does hope to meet the Prime Minister in May. Yes,
he's been much more conciliatory towards the British government than might appear, because in fact he has made a clear message that he does want to see Mrs. Thatcher, does not want to snub the government, and does look to that conciliation with many different kinds of people as well as the audience here.
And it also must be remembered, of course, that the ANC is just one, albeit a very large one, of a number of parties who will be present at negotiations in South Africa.
Of course, South Africa is coming now towards a different phase of quite awkward negotiations with different black groups as well as with the white minority and with the white rulers. And that will, of course, give a different perspective.
How much do you think can the changes in South Africa, though, the unbanning of the ANC and the talks with de Klerk, how much do you think are those Nelson Mandela's personal achievement?
If one looks at the history of the last 3 or 4 years, it's clear that Mandela's impact personally on the South African government and particularly on de Klerk was a decisive factor in unbanning the ANC.
And we can see there that Nelson Mandela is leaving the stadium. In fact, he's going home to South Africa tonight. And it's worth pointing out that he has had almost unparalleled access to a worldwide audience for a politician.